Hello guys, my name is Sabryn. Welcome or welcome back. If you're new here, this is the SabrynKnits Knitting Podcast, episode 5. And today, I'm coming to you with some FOs, WIPs, and acquisitions. Shocking, I know, because I'm acting like that's not what a podcast is already, so I'm having an off day, guys. My brain isn't working. I'm tired. I'm trying to bring my energy up to do this video because I didn't really feel like it. But I'm doing it because it's been a little over 2 weeks and I'm trying to be more consistent. So bear with me. So today, like I said, I have a couple of FOs. If you couldn't tell, I'm wearing one. And I have a lot of WIPs. Like, I don't know if this is a lot compared, but I have like 7 WIPs. And it's my own fault. I did it, and I knew how many WIPs I had. And I think I said this last video. I have like one more WIP than I did last time, and I've completed 2 things, but I can't help it. Sometimes I get really bored and I just want something new to cast on. I want that excitement of casting on something new, a new pattern, stuff like that. So yeah, I shouldn't have, but I did, and my priorities are not where they should be, but it's fine. It's always fine. So let's just get into it because I'm going to start rambling. Let's start on finished objects. So I will start with my first finished object. I should have put my hair up. But this is the, I should have flipped, hold on. There we go. Maybe that's better, yeah. This is the sweater number 26 by My Favorite Things Knitwear. And I love it. I was like almost done with it last episode and I finally finished it. I love this sweater. Not only is the pattern really great, but also the yarn. So let's talk about the yarn. Let's talk about the pattern. If you're interested in seeing like better pictures, I did post a finished object picture on my Instagram at SabrynKnits if you're interested. The yarn I used is Frosted Coffee by Poppy and Spruce Fibers in her Spruce DK. I used 5mm needles for the arms and body, 4mm needles for the twisted rib, and 3mm needles for the collar. And I know last time I mentioned that I was having a problem with the collar and it wasn't very neat, and I got it. I watched the video and it made so much more sense. However, the one thing I notice on this is the neck is a lot tighter than what other people's have looked like. It's definitely more up here than I kind of wanted it, maybe a little lower. And I don't know if that's because I sewed it in too tight or not. But besides that, I still really love it. I'm not going to go back because I feel like I did the best I could and I can still wear it and I still like the way it looks. So I will probably be knitting another one of these. I know I have so many more patterns I want to knit, but this is so comfy. The sleeves are really oversized, and the yarn. So I was worried because this is superwash hand-dyed yarn. I thought it was going to, they say grow because it's superwash, but it stayed the same. Like the elasticity for the ribbing is still there. Like it's not like they grew and everything's way bigger. So I'm like really happy with that, but I also like blocked it really carefully. So another thing I wanted to mention was just how the yarn has knit up. It is so, like, the evenness of the semi-solid. I don't even know if this is semi-solid. It might be variegated. I don't know the difference. I am not new to the hand-dyed yarn world, so either way, it knit up so nice and even. Again, I think last time I said you don't have to alternate skeins with that colorway, and I didn't, and it worked perfectly. There's no unevenness. I love it. And this is not a typically a color I go for. Like browns and stuff, those aren't really my thing. But this kind of is making me lean towards some more things that are of these colors. Like, I don't know what you would call this. Like toasty, like toasted bread. That's, you know, the color of toasted bread. Something like that. I don't like dark brown colors on me, but these kind are, they're good. I don't know if this would be considered a brown, but in my head, it's like a light brown. So I think this has really pushed me towards looking at more colors that are similar to this. Is there anything else? I'm kind of all over the place, sorry. I think, yeah, I talked about the collar. The pattern. I'll focus on the pattern. There's nothing like much to say about the pattern because it just was excellent. It was good. I didn't get lost anywhere. The way she explains things was so clear. I would definitely recommend this pattern. I've only been knitting since beginning of February, and I didn't even start knitting sweaters until a couple months after that. So the fact that I could do this is all thanks to the pattern, especially because it was so clear and I could understand it. Now, let's move on to the next finished object, which is the I'm So Basic socks. Let me get it here. I'm So Basic socks by Summer Lee. What is it? Summer Lee Designs. The yarn, I think I had showed this as a WIP last video. These, again, I'm So Basic socks by Summer Lee Designs, and this is knit up in Dream in Color yarns, Guthrie Peaks, and Smooshy Cashmere. I used 2.5 millimeter needles, and honestly, I wasn't a fan of the pattern. I think it's because I am just really a fan of the vanilla socks by Kay of, you know, Crazy Sock Lady. I like that a lot better. And then one thing I wish I had done, let me just show you a close-up. So pretty. The one thing I wish I had done was put less stitches, knit with less stitches. I don't even know if that completely makes sense, but I did, instead of 64 stitches, I did 66, and it really shows because I think typically the sock yarn I knit with isn't as elastic as this. This is really stretchy, and that's great because it's really comfy. But I could have done with just 64 stitches. These are for my sister. She wears a 8.5, 9. I told her it might be a little bit loose, a little bit baggy, but it should be fine. She said she likes baggy socks like this. So hopefully, she hasn't tried them on. I'm going to give them to her tomorrow. Let me see. It was just a simple pattern, heel flap and gusset. I did 2 by 1 rib for the cuff, which is starting to become my favorite cuff to do. And a couple of things I wanted to mention again. The one thing is the colors of the yarn weren't spread out super evenly. And I say that because maybe I'll take them off of the sock blockers. It'll be easier. So we've got this one, which is like really pretty with all the stripes. Let me just, it looks pretty even. And then we have, this is the first one I knit up, first sock. And, sorry. There we go. This is more muted. You can definitely tell there are some empty spots like here, here. And if I turn it around, this side isn't as bad, but the colors aren't as bright. But all in all, these are just for comfort. You can definitely tell the difference when I compare them, but they are just for the house, for her to just wear in the house and just be cozy socks for the winter. So it's not that big of a deal, but I think because my perfectionism, I'm like, dang, I wanted them to be even. And because I really like this one, I wish this one looked like it. But overall, the yarn to knit with was excellent. I loved it. And so it was already soft when I blocked it, or before I blocked it. They was already like a really soft yarn and I loved working with it. But after I blocked it, it felt even better. Like, it is so soft and stretchy, and it's just, they're so comfy. I am so happy with how they blocked out. It's really nice. And I couldn't be happier with these, other than the color distribution, but it's not a super big deal. And they're a little bit big, but that's also not a big deal. Just me and my nitpicks, I guess. Pun intended. All right, so next, that is it. Yeah, I only had two finished objects. That was it for them. I mean, for 2 weeks, I was already working on them and almost done. But it's pretty good for 2 weeks. I was worried I wouldn't have much to talk about, but everything's good. Now, whips. I'm gonna start with the ones that I mentioned yesterday. Last time, the last video, I'm just going to show you the progress of them and how much I've knit. Let's just start with the first one. It is the Clary Baby Blanket by Deborah O'Leary. And let me get it before I start talking about it. So here it is. I'm trying to see which end is, oh, it would be this way. This is knit on 4mm needles, I think. 4.5mm needles, excuse me. And drops Paris in the gray and white colorways. I think I've gotten a lot done since we last spoke, so that's nice. I'm really having fun with the patterns. It's just something that I do want to definitely get this done before my sister-in-law's baby shower, but I think I'll be able to. This is just, sometimes the cotton hurts my hands. It's just the way it is, so I'm not knitting on it constantly. But I really like this pattern. I love this yarn. I've talked about that before. I don't want to go too into that. If you're curious about more details on my opinions, you can just watch the last video. But yeah, I'll give you a close-up. There you go. And I started carrying the yarn because I'm using 2 different colors. I started carrying it and it's so much better. And I wish I would have done that from the beginning so I didn't have these things to weave in, but that's okay. It's fine. And yeah, that's going well. Definitely think I made a lot of progress on it since the last time I showed you. But maybe that's why I should put a stitch marker, because I am curious to know how much I've knit on it since I last talked about it. Maybe I'll start doing that. Next WIP is the Cozy Cotton Hoodie by Autumn Becker. She is KnitsbyAutumn on Instagram, and I think on Etsy. She's on Etsy. And you could buy her patterns on Etsy or Ravelry. I think you can do both of them. But this was a test knit and I didn't make it in time because the cotton that I'm using for it is so painful. It like really takes a toll on my wrists and my hands. They get so tired. So I'm just taking my time on it. I definitely do want to finish it. But I think it's just gonna be a very, what's the word, maybe a languishing WIP. Cause I'm working on it here and there, but it's not like a priority just cause it hurts my hands. So let me just show you the progress I've made on it. So I have actually finished the body of the hoodie. I was about to call it sweater. I did finish the body on the hoodie. I did shorten it. First, because I didn't want it that long, and I kind of was done with the body, and I was ready to move on. But yeah, it is finished. I'm not sure I'm a fan of how I binded off the body, but I think I want it to roll up like that, something like, well, not like that, like this side, yeah. So it's not a big deal, you won't be able to see it, so I'm not like super worried about it. I haven't started the sleeves or the hoodie part yet. I just was like, I finished the body and I'm taking a little break from it. And that is it. I used 5mm needles. I'm still using that for this. And I am using the yarn White Cotton Worsted by Lily Sugar and Cream. And it is a cheaper cotton. And I think that has a lot to do with, and it's also thick, has a lot to do with why it's hurting my hands. So yeah, that's it. Moving on. Next up, we have the Everyday Socks by PetiteKnit. Now, I wanted these to be a finished object, but I just couldn't finish them in time. I'm so close. There we go. Here they are. So, I don't know if I think I did have the one sock finished. Did I? I can't remember, but either way, I finished the one sock. And it just looks beautiful. Literally, just gorgeous colors. I can't even explain to you how much I love this. It is, even just on camera, it just looks so pretty. The lines on it, I didn't even try. And there's just like the beautiful stripes on it. I'm very happy. And so I am on the foot of the second sock. So I have the leg, the heel done, and I'm just trying to knit the foot, which is, you know, it's kind of like the leg, it just goes on and on. So yeah, I'm almost finished though. I'm almost finished. I have to say though, I've realized I'm not a fan of a short row heel. And this time, I think I told you that last time, I messed up on this side. It is definitely more open and has more holes because I didn't do the German short row technique correctly. But this one I did, and I thought maybe I would like it more, but it's more, I don't mind the way it looks. Like, it really doesn't look bad. But I don't enjoy knitting it up. I still prefer heel flap and gusset. I do, however, want to try different heels. I think one I really want to try is the Fish Lips Kiss heel because I've heard a lot of people like that. But yeah, so far the pattern's okay. It's fine. It's kind of like just, you know, typical vanilla sock. It's just the heel's different is all. And I'm glad I got to try it. It's just not my favorite to do. But yeah, I'm almost done with those. I'm knitting these on 2.25 millimeter needles, the 9-inch circulars. And the yarn I'm using is Poppy and Spruce fibers from her, what is it? Why can't I think of it? Homegrown Yarn Club for July. Yes, July. And that is the Majesty Palm colorway. And I just love that color. And I am awaiting my September colorway. I just can't wait for it. It's squash themed, so I think it's gonna have some oranges in it. I don't know. I love I love the mystery of it all. It's my favorite thing. So again, she does them monthly. So she opens it up for people that just want, you don't have to do the 6-month subscription or 12-month subscription. You can do by month and pick what you want. So you could do just the yarn or you could do the box that you get the gifts and everything. She has that open for a bit in the beginning of the month. Then she closes it, obviously, but yeah, if you're interested, she is Poppy and Spruce Fibers on Etsy. And she is the best at dyeing yarn. I love it. I love her. She's the best. Okay. Next one up is the Dorney Sweater by Rebecca Clow of the Clary Blanket Knitting Podcast. So I am knitting this up in Drops Air, held double with the Kids Silk Mohair. And Pearl Gray is the Drops Air. And I forget what color this is. I think I said it wrong last time. It's maybe Moonlit, Moonlight, something. I don't know. I guess it really doesn't matter, but the color is 38 if anybody's interested. Definitely has a pinkish undertone. It's definitely a cooler mohair. So I have changed my needles for this, and I have been working on it. It may not seem like it, but I have made more progress. So far, so good. I'm having a good time. Sometimes it's difficult to knit on because of the thickness of the yarn when it's held double, but I also changed the needles to metal needles, so that is helpful because it slides better and I'm having a better time with it. I'm enjoying it better, which matters. So what am I knitting this on? 4.5 millimeter needles, and yeah, it's going well. Just taking my time on this one. I really want, because this is, I've had this on the needles for a while, and it's kind of my next sweater I want to finish, so I need to make that. I need to be knitting on it more. But yeah, that's going good. I'm just going to to hold myself accountable, I'm just going to keep mentioning it every podcast. Just so I can be motivated throughout the couple weeks to knit on it. Okay, we're moving on to the next one. Vanilla Socks by Crazy Sock Lady. I just casted these on because I finished my socks for my sister. And let me get them first. So, these socks I'm knitting up are for my sister-in-law. I casted these on before I started on anything else because I know I have other socks I need to knit for people, but I want to get these done before her baby shower too, because I wanted something for my nephew, the baby, and her. So when she gets them, it's not just for the baby. And she can have cozy socks because it'll be winter time. So this is a new yarn. It could be part of my acquisitions, but I think I am just going to mention it with this and then just skip it for the acquisitions. But yeah, this is just the Vanilla Sock by Crazy Sock Lady. I'm knitting these on 2.5mm needles. The yarn I got was kind of like a last minute decision. I kept seeing this color on Etsy, and it's called Forget Me Not, and it's by That Chick Who Knits, I believe. Yeah, and it's in the fingering weight. I have a yarn cozy on, but if you could just see, like, it's so beautiful, like the colorway. So this is actually a yarn that's supposed to be for assigned pooling. But I was like, you know what? I just like the color. I just want to knit some socks up with it. So that's what I'm doing. And so far, it's not going to look bad. I think the colors go well together. It doesn't have to be this perfectly even pattern. It doesn't matter to me. But the yarn is knitting up really nicely. I think it's definitely going to be stretchy, so that'll be good. Nice and cozy. What else? I think that's it. Nothing much to say about this. Just another sock that I have on the needles and trying to get done before December. But honestly, it's one of these. This is one of these. What? What did I just say? This is a knit that every time I look at it, it brings me joy because the color is so beautiful. It makes me, literally brightens up my day. It makes me so happy. And because it's just, blue is my favorite color. So it just makes me so happy. I love it. So, okay, we've got 2 more WIPs. And one of them I shouldn't have casted on, but I did it anyways because I really wanted to use the yarn because it's been sitting in my stash for a while. Yeah. So the next one, I'm trying to find, the next one, I didn't have a set pattern for these yarns, and I was struggling so bad on what pattern to use for it because it was really difficult. The yarn is Woolly Knit. Yarn brand is my brain is shutting down. It's really shutting down. The yarn that I'm using, or that I'm talking about, is by Woolly Knit. It's their 100% merino cones. I got 2 of them. One I got, and I mentioned this maybe in my first podcast. I can't even remember. But I was going to use these separately, but I ended up meshing them together, holding them double. And I'll tell you why, but first let me show you again. So this is the off-white. Okay, just, you know. I just wanted a plain one. I was going to knit a sweater with just that, but it just wasn't happening. And the next one is Plata. And it's so beautiful. I love it. It was a newer color on their website. And I liked it because it's definitely lavender. And I love lavender. It's a really beautiful color. But yeah, I was going to, each cone I got, I was going to hold separately with like a Surrey or a Mohair. But I really wanted to cast these on, and I'm like, what can I do? Because I also have a cone of unknown Mohair. But I got it on Etsy, and it was cheap. And it's a lot of it, because it's in a cone, and it's lace weight. So I have a lot of that, but I did some swatches. I held one with the Plata. I held it double with the Mohair, and it just, what I wanted to knit wasn't working. The gauge was so off because this fingering weight yarn is really thin. Like the yarn is super thin, and so is that lace. So I was like, I don't want to buy more Mohair or whatever to knit with these. So I was like, I wonder what I can do with both of them. What would really look good? Because I didn't want it to pick a pattern that was like just the yarn, because they're such different colors. Like, I didn't want the yarn to distract from the pattern if it was like, you know, pretty, what's the word? If it was cabled or something like that, I didn't want that because it would just draw away from the actual design. So I realized, oh, I could do the Melange. I think I'm saying that right. The Melange sweater by PetiteKnit, because that is exactly what you're supposed to do with it, is hold 2 fingering weight yarns together. And this is all tangled, so give me a second. Knitting from cones is not my favorite, I'm gonna tell you that. I didn't really swatch for this because I was like, I think it's fine. It'll be a fine gauge. It's really rolled up because it's stockinette. It's just like, can't really see it, but I'm gonna try my best to open it for you to see. Let's see if you can even, lighting's kind of weird. Yeah, there you go. I'm really loving it. Like, the off-white and the lavender is really nice, and it's not, neither one is standing out. They both are kind of, they're both really muted and marled perfectly. So it's not like one is really standing out, which I know in PetiteKnits, her sample, I think it was like a dark gray and then a light gray. But I really like this. I'm excited to see how the sweater turns out, because I also really like the way the yarn's knitting up. Also, it smells so good. It smells so sheepy. And I sometimes just sit there and sniff this. And I know some people will understand what I'm talking about. It just smells so good. I love it. And when I wash it, I don't want that scent to go away. But that is what I'm working on. I am still, obviously I just started working on this. I'm only on the back part. I just finished the short rows. And yeah, I love knitting up the yarn is really nice. Like, I love, this yarn is really nice to knit up. But it's also like, did I need another sweater on the needles when I have that Dorney sweater that I've had for a really long time and have not finished? But I did it anyways. I'm knitting these on 4mm needles, the recommended size for the pattern. And yeah, that's all I had to say for this one. What I really wanted to, another thing I was thinking about was I just wanted a plain stockinette sweater on the needles because I just finished this one. And this is just all stockinette. And I really enjoy just a simple stockinette sweater to always have available. And so this is kind of perfect for that. It is inconvenient to travel with though, because these cones are so heavy and they're like in here. But if I just don't want to think on a day and I'm sitting in my knitting chair and I just want to knit and stockinette stitch, I have what I need to do that. So that was another reason why I wanted to cast on. Last whip. And then we'll move on to acquisitions, which I don't have a ton of, so it won't be, this will go by pretty quickly. Last one, I started knitting the Moby Sweater Junior for my nephew. I just got the back panel done. And compared to my first one for the baby, I love that one. That one looks really good, but because I've done it before, this looks way crisper and just neater. I'm very proud of it. And the color of this yarn is so nice. I love it. It's like such a cool gray, and it's kind of got a bluish tint to it. It's just gonna look so nice, completely knit up. So I'm also working on that. The deadline is the baby shower, which is, in December. So I'm trying to get that done, which, because it's small, it shouldn't take that long. And I am using the gray color by Barocco and the Vintage Baby base DK weight. Yeah, and I'm knitting this on, what am I knitting this on? 4mm needles. And I don't have many thoughts on this. I'm just very happy with the way the pattern is turning out. It's like so crisp. And I'm very proud of myself for how neat it looks. And pattern's the same, PetiteKnit. I love all her patterns and they're really easy to understand. And I'm just having a good time with it. Last up is acquisitions, and compared to last time, I don't have a lot to show you, but I do have some. Now, it's not all yarn, shockingly, so I'm excited to share those with you. First one I'm going to show you is by East Coast Yarn Co. And this is her yarn of the month for August that came in finally. And it is, the inspiration is sunflowers. And I realized I got it wrong. I have August on my notes. This is not for August, this is for September. So let me just show you like this. She did not disappoint. I knew this color was gonna be so beautiful. I'm sorry if you heard that dog. He is freaking out. Okay, I think we're good. So yes, back to the yarn. She did not disappoint. This colorway is beautiful. Like, perfect fall colors. I am so excited to knit some socks up with this. And I'm like, I know it's variegated, but I really want to knit like a patterned sock with this. So it can be like a really fall sock, if you know what I mean. So yeah, this is 450 yards, 100 grams, 80/20 superwash merino nylon blend. And yeah, this is Sunflowers September yarn of the month. I'm excited to see what is next month's. Next up, this was kind of a splurge, and part of me is like, you didn't need that, but I don't regret it at the same time. So I started following the Wandering Flock on Instagram, and then I looked at their Etsy, and I think that's all I need to say, because their colors spoke to me. And I'm not a super pastel pinky, like, those are the colors I'm drawn to, but I don't think I don't wear those as often. But I was like, I need a sweater quantity in this yarn, and that is, let me get both of them, because I got a mohair and a fingering weight, or sport weight yarn to hold together. And this is the colorway Icy Lavender. They look so beautiful. They look so beautiful on camera. Oh my gosh. So first, let's just look at this one. Let's appreciate. I wish you guys could squish this yarn because it is so soft. It's so nice and squishy. And this is the Baby Paca yarn base, I think is what they call it. And now they only have like one left for the Baby Paca in this color, so I'm very happy I got it when I did. This is 50% extra fine merino, 30% baby alpaca, and 20% nylon. Sport weight yardage is 400 yards per 100 grams. So I was like, I need this. I'm a sucker for lavender. Even though I don't wear a lot of lavender things, I think I like the color on me. No, it doesn't smell sheepy. I was hoping it would. I think this color would look good with my complexion, but I don't know. I don't think I'm good at determining what colors look good on me, but I love this. And this is their mohair. 80% super kid mohair, 20% silk, 50 grams, 430 yards per 50 grams lace weight. And this is also an Icy Lavender. Now these look very different. This is definitely way darker, but so when I got these in the mail, I was worried. I was like, oh no, what am I gonna do? But I have to remember, when all the lace is wrapped together, it's gonna look darker and a deeper color. So when it's just one string, it'll look really nice. So I'm so excited. I don't even have a plan on what I'm gonna do with this, but I want it to be special. I want it to be really nice. Maybe a Cargill, but I don't know if I have I have to like see which patterns, like with how much I have, because I got 3 skeins for each. I don't know how, I need to make sure I have enough yarn for whatever pattern I want, so we'll see. Okay, so I will continue with the next acquisition, which is Drops Cotton Light in dark gray and light gray. This is color 31 and this is color 30. So what I'm doing with this is going to be another little baby sweater, and it is going to be the Melange sweater. Now, I wasn't planning on knitting 2 of these, but it just kind of happened. It wasn't really on purpose, but this is gonna look so cute with the little baby. So yeah, I got sweater's quantity of that, and I'm not sure, I think I got it for a bigger size for the baby, so when he grows he can wear it when he's older, instead of like having newborn baby clothes, because those I'm just doing accessories because the baby grows so quick. I'm just gonna see how long I can make the sweaters last so the baby can keep wearing them, if that makes any sense. Last acquisition that is yarn. So I literally just got this in the mail today, so I'm happy that it came in so I could film this. This is just a sock yarn. This was kind of a random buy too, but J'adore Fibers was having a sale and I wanted to get one of her colors. So I got, this is Mint Cheer, and it is a one of a kind. And her Dua fingering, it's 2-ply, 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon, 400 yards per 100 grams. It is so pretty. I just love the pastels. I really do. These are gonna be beautiful socks. Yeah, that is it. Now is a couple of things. I've got needle stoppers to show, and then a project bag. So they're all from Woolberry Fibers. So first I'll show you my project bag. For their 7-year birthday pre-order, I got some yarn. So I'm waiting for that to come in, but I also saw that project bags were online too, and I'm in love. I had to get this one, and this is the sock project bag, so it's smaller, but it's a fox. It's so cute. And this is, I have my everyday sock in here. It is so cute. I love it. There was a fox, a bunny, and I forget the other one, but they're all so cute. But I had to get the fox. It was so cute. All right, now needle stoppers. I will have to get out my whips again because they are stuck on them, and I should have just shown them to you when I had opened them up and shared the whips, but whatever, it's fine. I'd gotten these needle stoppers a while back, and I can't remember if I showed these to you guys, but I'm just gonna share them. I got these. They are, I forget which ones they are, but I got these when they were sold out of a lot of them, and I didn't really want this color, but I really wanted the design and the needle stoppers, so I got it anyways, and it's really cute. I really love them. My Melange sweater has the poppy needle stoppers in Laurel Green, I believe is the color they have. All right. This is a struggle. Okay. I was so happy they had this color for the needle stoppers. They're so cute. This was recent. I got these because they just had, they shared on Instagram that, was there a discount? Or no, she was saying they would ship out really quick, so I just got a couple. And they came like really quickly. Now I think there's one more set of needle stoppers. I believe these are the daisies, but they're half daisies. But I got these in the purple color, mauve, I think. I'm using them for my sister-in-law's socks. But let's see if I can. I kind of put them down really far, but yeah, they're so cute too. I love them. I love all of them. Okay guys, that is it. I am so tired now. You can see it in my eyes. I'm like, used up a lot of energy, talked a lot, and I'm not used to talking this much typically. So thank you for watching. My brain has stopped working. It's just slowly shutting down. Thanks guys for watching. I really appreciate it. If you like what you see, please give it a like, subscribe to my channel. I'm trying to be consistent and post videos every 2 weeks. Yeah, every 2 weeks. And leave a comment on what you are working on while watching this video. I really like it when people share what they're working on. It's always fun. And yeah, also, if you want, you can follow me on Instagram at SabrynKnits. I don't post a ton, but when I have a finished project, some here and there, I post a lot more on my stories than anything. So if you would like, you could follow me on there. That is all I had for you guys. I'm going to be done now, shut my brain off. And that's that. All right, I will see you next time, guys. Bye.